everybody, and welcome back to another TrackSpear lap guide video for the 2024 Youth League Spring Season. My name is Braden, and I'll be taking you guys through the track that we're using for round 3, which is the Bahrain International Circuit, the outer loop. The traditional layout is used for round 1 of the Formula 1 season, and it's very well known for its tricky traction and braking zones. So entry and exits of corners are very difficult around here, and we'll be going over all of that. As you can see on that track map that's displayed right now, lots of long straights into tight corners where we'll be turning while accelerating or turning while braking. So lots of difficulty with balancing the inputs, not using too much turning or too much braking and locking up, not using too much throttle while turning and spinning out. It's all important on this track, and we will get right into it. Right, here we are then on the main straight of the Bahrain International Circuit. There's 3 long straights on this track. Every single one of them we're going to want to brake around the 100-meter board for. So, we turn into turn 1 here. I tend to brake, honestly, right at the start of this red curve, right about here. Because it is very important to be setting up our next few turns. It is kind of the thing about this track. It is lots of tight turns leading onto long straights. So, you want to be focusing on your exits so you can maximize your speed on the straights. That's going to be your best chance to overtake. As we come into this turn, we want to be starting from the left, turning all the way in, getting as close to this curve as possible, but not actually hitting it, so that we can stay on this right side and open up this next left. As you exit from turn 1, turning into turn 2, you might be able to get pretty aggressive on the throttle at this point. However, we are going to have to lift off that gas as we turn in, get as close to this curve again as possible, and then full on the gas on the exit. Straight lining it past this curve, out of turn 3, and now we're approaching turn 4 down the straight. Turn 4, again, 100-meter board at the end of the straight is kind of what we're looking for. Braking nice and hard there, confident on the brakes, and slowly easing it off to not lock up while we turn in second gear. Try to stay on this right-hand side again, very similar like the exit of turn 1 into turn 2. Out of turn 4, we want to try to stay on the right-hand side as much as possible to open up turn 5. So let us carry a lot of speed through this left-hander. We're going to be flying to the left, and we want to stay on this side because we got a very tricky part of the track coming up. We're going to be on this left-hand side as we enter. Eventually, though, we're going to want to start lifting off this gas and veering over to the right-hand side where the curve is. Once we get pretty much over to this side, it's going to be straightening out that wheel and on the brakes, nice and smooth, trying to slow down the car as much as possible without actually locking up. So, all the way to the left after we get through that part to open up the right, and then we want to get all the way to the right and get as close to that curve as possible. So we exit this right-hand turn out of, I believe, turn 7. We're going to be cresting over a hill. I can actually see it right now. If I stop the car will be rolling back. We're on a slope right now. As we crest this hill here, you'll see the car will kind of pitch down. As I go over it, the back end of the car is going to get much lighter. So what you want to do is be very patient on the throttle on this exit. It's going to tempt you to go full gas very quickly, but you're going to want to be ready for it to give you some slide if you do that, because it is going to be very tricky to keep on the gas as your back end loses a bunch of weight down the hill. So we're going straight through this part here, and then this final kink down the back straight, we can cross 2 tires over on the beige part of the track to try to straighten out the track as much as possible. Carry that speed, less turning the better, and then full on the gas as we go down the straight. Again, since we're going down the straight, the next corner we know we have to brake at the 100-meter board, which is conveniently right underneath this white banner that goes across the track, right there. So hard on the brakes, staying on the left-hand side, down to second gear, easing off to not lock up while we turn in, and then back on the gas on the exit in second gear, all the way out to the left side, use that full track, and full gas down the straight. We'll try to pick up the pace a little bit here, show you what a faster lap looks like. Again, turn 1, I'm only focusing on my exit out of turn 2. I'm just setting up turn 2. So 100-meter board, down to second, turn in, get close to that curb, honestly probably a bit too much, lifting for left, back on the gas, and up the gears. Just focusing on setting up the exit out of turn 5. 100-meter board, hard on the brakes. Ease off to not lock up, down to second, stay to the right as much as you can, back to the left, and we want to be lifting as we turn in here, back down the brakes, and over to the left. See, that car gets really light through that exit, 2 tires over on the right hand side. Looking for that 100-meter board again. And brakes. Off, turn in, back on the gas. A little aggressive there, a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. Let's see what we can do if we do another faster one. Now, pit entry, we want to be braking. There's a blue banner right on the way into the pit entry. I tend to brake right about there. See, I'll turn to the right here. There's that blue banner going across the track right there. Get ready with your speed limiter. Right before it. And that's a good speed there. So, yeah, tend to brake just a bit before that blue sign there. Let the car slow down. Don't worry about maximizing your speed on entry. Make it a safe entry. Don't speed in. Don't get a penalty. And you'll be good. And just for the pit exit, we want to be waiting to go back up to speed until this white line right here. At that point, we can disengage that speed limiter and we're free to go. Staying to the right of this white line all the way out until it ends, and then we can cross back to the left. And that is your full lap guide of the Bahrain International.